Hello everyone, welcome to another video. In this video, I am showing a more polished run of the Apex tank in Warframe 1999 as Excalibur. So this is my solo run as Excalibur. Compared to my previous video, you'll see that I changed a few of my weapons. The most important thing is I swapped my weak point weapon to the AX-52, and this was just to showcase that you can do this fight with other weapons and also hit the weak points with these other weapons. But yeah, in general, we swapped the primary to the AX-52. I then have my kit gun, secondary kit gun, to destroy overguard on Eximus units if I need to focus the overguarded units. And then on top of that, I'm also making sure that in this fight I am using prime redirection, just because I wanted to showcase that prime redirection can be used in a very similar manner to the other to catalyzing shields. And so, as you can see, I'm still following the old strategy here where you have to focus the enemies. I, spent all this time building Sampotes slam build and just did not use it on this first phase when I can and should have. Honestly, the Sampotes is probably the best investment I've ever had. One of the most fun options of just slamming and then having all these aftershock waves effect. So you'll see that I am using my secondary to not only strip overguard on enemies and get overguard, but also to try and prime the tank by reducing its armor. And this is in juxtaposition to something like using the Latron, which would just fully strip the armor if you have the Incarnon. I, however, do not, because I am lazy as hell, and so I just don't have the ability to full strip the enemy, or the tank, the Apex tank. And honestly, it's not really needed. It's really not necessary in order to do this fight. You can do this without even full stripping the tank. I mean, in my last one, I was using the Compressa, and I was getting 4 corrosive procs and 4 viral procs, and that was basically doing the same thing as full stripping in terms of damage. We were still getting enough damage to break the tank's first phase with the rockets. But you'll see in this one, because I don't have a weapon that can proc corrosive and viral, I can't rely on that, and I kind of realized that a little bit late. However, with the Sampotes, I'm able to just recover because it is honestly the only actual weapon that kind of can ignore the armor that forces you to use the RPGs. And I believe you'll see it in this segment where I use all of the RPGs that are available. None of them spawn. No more spawn. And then I don't know what to do, so I slam. Even though I watched the whole video where somebody is able to one-shot this phase, I completely forgot about that. And it's really annoying that I just did not remember. So, if you want to ignore the RPGs, just get the Sampotes. Honestly, probably the most simple grind. It's either going to be 4 Steel Path runs in Duviri, or it's going to be 6 Steel Path or normal runs in Duviri. It's honestly worth the time. Oh, and here's my Sentinel from the last video reviving me. Honestly, pretty awesome. Just being able to have multiple options to revive, especially since if you go into operator mode and you don't happen to kill enough Eximus, but your Sentinel still revives, you can still revive through the Sentinel as well, which is honestly really crazy that you're given more than one option. But yeah, you're going to see me try really hard to get all of these RPGs, shoot them into the tank, and none of that's going to matter because I'm going to use the Sampotes. But yeah, just really good item. And really just carries the second phase of the boss fight. Really not seen anybody do the second phase of the boss fight with anything else other than a slam build. It just seems like the weak points don't really react, or just like they're too tanky for anything other than a slam build. So that's just how it is. Other than that, you're going to see me trying to survive. I would say if you're in a panic and you can swap to operator, do swap to operator, especially if you have Vazarin as your focus, because you can get that free shield, which gives you nice shield regen, and also gives you the ability to dash through your Warframe, and you can be invulnerable for 3 seconds and get a pretty nice heal. Because at the end of the day, you know, as long as your health bar is isn't at 0, you won't die. So yeah. Other than that, I would say probably the most important thing you can have is maxed out Arcane Nullifier here, because that's going to guarantee that you can't get your shields delayed by the boss, and that's going to make everything easier. So you'll see here, I'm trying to kill some of the Eximus units to revive my Sentinel. There's no reason to be doing this, especially with all of this stuff, and you'll see that I kind of panic because there's no RPGs. There's not really that many enemies spawning, and most of the enemies that do spawn with RPGs are going to be marked. So I don't see any marked enemies. Doesn't really seem like there's any RPGs. And we'll get to slamming the boss here after I slam that guy to death. You know, it's just, yeah, if you haven't tried a slam build, go ahead, get some of those mods, you know, put on some flat damage, some flat crit, and just start heavy attacking the ground. So I think this is where it is. I think the thing is a bit inconsistent, because you see I did one slam first, and I did like 0 damage, and I think it's specifically because you have to hit the actual boss a certain way. You'll see that in the second phase, where some of the weak points won't break, and I'll do like 0 damage on the screen. But then, like, I'll do another slam, it'll do like half of the enemy's health. Yeah, you can see that. It's like I hit several weak points on those first 2, and I just slammed 2 more times, and it just didn't do any damage. Luckily, I would say once you get through the tank part and you have a slam build, honestly, the second phase is really, really easy. It's honestly a joke in of itself. And even if the tank does regen, I don't really think that it having extra health really matters, especially if you know what you're doing. Because you can just kind of destroy the things again anyway, and you're not like worried about ammo economy because you're just slamming the ground. So yeah, I mean, yeah, there's big damage with the slam, a bunch of slams that do almost zero damage. So it really has to do with like where you're hitting, and because I'm not looking, I'm kind of just uh, guessing where they are and hoping that they'll hit. So I mean, it's a lot of like back and forth, of just finding the right spot, but you're kind of bullet jumping and everything, and with the shield gating happening, you're kind of practically as immortal as you can be in this game without using something like Revenant, Mesmer skin. So, you know, you can get through a lot of these phases in the second where you just go for the weak points and you can kind of just focus on surviving while it's in an invuln state, and then just damage or do all the damage again that you did in the previous phase before the invuln to just get back to where you were. So, you know, this gameplay is not that impressive when you see that. It's just like, oh yeah, the second phase is honestly all cheese. There's a lot of stuff other than there's like the Jade Eximus. I would say that's pretty annoying, but honestly, if you're moving around, the Jade Eximus do zero damage anyway. Oh yeah, I die in the second phase. But this is where stripping enemy overguard is actually good, because you can do that, and then my Sentinel revives me again because I killed one Eximus unit out of like maybe the 4 that I needed to. So, just big reminder that is, in this run I get saved by the Sentinel, my own Sentinel, twice. And there you go. You're gonna get the icon. If you saw in the previous video, you get the icon right when you complete the... What am I thinking of? You get it when you complete the boss, and then you have to get all the way to extraction. There's going to be enemies in the way. If you've ever done this fight, just try and... I mean, you've stayed alive during a whole tank fight, so honestly, this isn't going to be an issue. But yeah, this... just giant aftershock waves with the Sampotes. Genuinely crazy. Anyway, that's the whole boss fight on Excalibur. I would say it's kind of harder than some of the other Warframes because your survivability tools on Excalibur's abilities is just a blind. So it's not very useful when all of the enemy are Eximus units. So if you can subsume something like Silence on him, that would be good. But yeah, here are my builds. See on Excalibur, it's very much the same. I actually crafted a new Excalibur for this video so that I could actually put all of the same mods on, practically the same mods. Other than that, pretty much same setup, corrosive, weak point build. I put radiated reload on here. Probably didn't need it, but I will say primary crux is very nice, just having that ammo efficiency on weak points. This is, Mr. Shroomy. It's Spore Lacer. Very nice weapon. Just instantly deletes overguard, level 300 enemy overguard. Honestly, really crazy that you're able to do that. And then here is the Sampotes build. I'm actually pretty much copying most things other than Magnetic Rush. I like having the magnetic on there, personally. But yeah, that's basically it. So, thanks for watching.